Right, wherever you are and whenever you are, happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Welcome to the office. Welcome to another episode of Dungeon Manager. To all of you in the Twitch chat, hello, welcome, do sound off. We'd love to get to know you, whether you're new or returning. Welcome back. And to everyone who's watching on YouTube, to everyone who's listening, welcome to you as well. We thoroughly appreciate you tuning in. Before we start, as ever, we have a couple of thanks to our incredible assistant dungeon managers on Patreon, the wonderful Graham Muir and Rory O'Sullivan. I almost got their surnames mixed up. Thank you so much. You have been supporting us since the beginning of the campaign, and we love you. I think it's that plain and that simple. We love you very much. And in addition to this, we are also affiliated with Zavi. Zavi have an entire clothing line and merch line connected with D&D at the moment. You can check out the link in the description or in the Twitch chat. And we have special codes that can give you discounts on those items. You can either use Dungeon20 to get 20% off any purchases on D&D related clothing, or you can use the code Dungeon10, which will give you 10% off site-wide. And if you want to follow us on social media, you can do so. You can subscribe to us and follow us on Twitch, which would be immensely useful. You can also check us out on YouTube, where we have all of our old content, all of our old episodes, all of our old one-shots and three-parters and mini-series. Those are all on YouTube as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to give this a like, a subscribe, and click the bell icon, because that helps with the algorithm. I will look into that, what that does at some point. And if you prefer to listen, you can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean, where we have new episodes every Tuesday. And as mentioned beforehand, we do have a Patreon if you would like to check that out. We have content every other week where we put out maps, stat blocks, creatures, homebrew content, all that lovely gubbins. But I believe that's everything. I believe I've reeled off everything that I need to. So let's dispense with that. I entirely lost what I was saying for a moment. So join us. Hopefully this doesn't bode for the rest of the episode. But join us as we step out of the office, away from work, and once more into the world of Dungeon Manager. Previously on Dungeon Manager, arriving into the small settlement of Slumptown after a freezing journey towards the city of Neverwinter as you travel along the Sword Coast, you decided to spend the night in the Withered Pumpkin, a small establishment elevated above the surrounding marshland. Before you could, however, you found a mere stone's throw away that there was another tavern in town. The Tack Room, a chain of inns that you believed belonged to the Skinner crime family of Baldur's Gate. Choosing to investigate its interior, you were met with an overgrowth of green algae and wet sea vegetation, along with what looked to be a set of stairs descending down into the very earth itself. You followed these stairs, and down, down, down at their base, you found a large underground river, complete with what looked to be a secret, if somewhat old, dock, along with much newer crates of Tack Room whiskey. Suddenly, you were set upon by sea spawn, strange scaled creatures emerging from the water itself, and after beating them back, and continuing across the river and into the deep, dank cave system beyond, you travelled further and further in, until you were eventually met by a giant sinkhole, and above this, the ruins of an old coastal castle. And as you investigated further, climbing up, you found a mighty throne room. And inside this, suspended above the murky salt water, a hanging cage of prisoners, still alive. But worse still, on the other side of the hall and sat upon a mighty throne of broken ships and wood, you saw another figure, a giant. Self-proclaimed God King, Festus Saltwound. And as Terra went invisible, and Zini, you took a look around for a potentially higher vantage point on the walls. What is everyone wanting to do? As Dalafar, you relay what you have seen to the group.
Could I please cast Cure Wounds on myself?
You can, absolutely.
I am going to do so at 3rd level, because I am quite hurt.
So you see Zini casting the spell off to one side, and looking her up and down, you have a good understanding as to why this might be. She looks somewhat the worse for wear, and especially coming out of the caves once more and the chill in the air. Zini, you are not only in the middle of a very wintry environment, but also you can taste sea salt on the air. This is a nightmare, a living, waking nightmare for you, Zini.
Okay, I healed 11 hit points plus my wisdom mod, which is 3, so I healed 14.
Okay.
I'd like to buff up. That's an action.
Okay.
But I'm invisible, so no one knows it's happening.
You all hear a slight, and you've heard this sound before. You know that Terra is henching. Terra has gone hench. So as the sound of the waves outside this old ruined castle sound against the rocks and the coast, and above you the remains of the roof hang silhouetted against a large moon hanging in the sky, what are you all doing?
I just turn around to everyone and go, well, if I go first, and just to sort of gauge, then it will make much more sense that, we'll get a high vantage point from you, Zini, and because Terra is invisible, the element of surprise will be on our side should we reluctantly, invariably end up in fighting this giant.
Shall we employ a similar tactic to when we went in to see Icarus?
Yes, so you'll get up close and personal.
Do you want to have like some kind of signal so I know if we're giving up with the nice approach?
I think I'll just tell you in Midani that we are going, and I just tell everyone the word for go in Midani. That'll be the code to go.
Let me see if I have that on my document. I probably don't. Carry on.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. We try to talk. If negotiations fail, then we take a hard attack. I feel like that's a solid plan, Dalafar.
Okay. Is everyone ready?
Am I back?
Yes!
Yeah!
Yay!
Yeah!
I don't know what's going on with my microphone lately, but it's fine. Is there a place where I could feasibly climb up but get into that room? Is there like a collapsed wall where I could hunker down, or is there no way in other than the doors?
So I'd say when you were climbing up out of the sinkhole, you did get a fairly good look at the roof above you. You are currently in a large, what looks to be a huge entrance hallway. You can see the remains of stairs that lead up to a floor that no longer exists above you. Most of what you can see around you has collapsed, but you can see, especially from your vantage point from down below and from the way that the moonlight falls across the surrounding area. Around half of this room, and indeed, from the looks of it, the room on the other side, is still covered in a roof. But the right-hand side of the building and this entire castle seems to have slowly descended into the moisture, the marsh, and the sea. Everything is at an incline. And you can see that a number of the walls to the right-hand side are open, leading up to nothing other than rubble and broken stone.
Okay. Can I climb up those stairs then, but try and stay hidden from the people in the room, and just get almost a sniper's nest and hide if I could?
Okay, so if you can make a stealth check for me.
Do I get advantage because of my cloak of elven kind?
You do, yes.
Excellent. Okay. Ooh, okay. Let me just check what my stealth is. It's 4. That is a 19.
So you make your way up, and every so often you have to sort of edge your way around the side of the stairs as chunks of steps have literally fallen down to the ground below. And all of these are overcovered with algae and moist moss. It has stood here for a while and in this state of disrepair. But as you move up the stairs and around the side of this great hall, the rest of you watch as Zini all but disappears from your view, her cloak enveloping her in the darkness around. And Zini, as you come up over the top, you start to see the remains of this large throne room, and you see the large guttural figure that sits at the other end, a large broken stained glass window behind him, and to your right you see the remains of a ship that has clearly crashed into the side of the castle, and water is pouring down into the side and disappearing into depths unknown. But you can see the giant, and in front of him at the bottom of the steps leading up to his throne, you can see an impossibly large pile of gold and trinkets and other items, and in front of this you see, bent in supplication, one of the sea spawn, just kneeling in front of him, cowering in front of this large, obese figure.
How big is the giant?
So, mechanically, huge. So, coming in
But I mean, like, actually.
So,
Compared to me.
So around 15 to 20 feet. It's
Okay.
between 3 times and 4 times your size.
So bigger than Hagrid.
That's the frame of reference.
Yeah.
Not bigger than the BFG.
But yeah, smaller than the BFG, I think.
Do I recognize this type of giant?
Make a nature check for me.
Oh, that was nearly a 1. It's not great anyway, but it was nearly a 1. 13?
You have never come into contact with the giant. You've only heard of them. They are quite rare, certainly in terms of making their presence known around the High Forest. The only ones that you have really heard of are in a couple of the more mountainous regions of your home forest. You've heard of hill giants, seem to be the most common, but also stone giants. It is hard to tell what this one, sort of what origin this one is. One of the things that sort of sticks out to you is that unlike the sea spawn that you have seen, all of which are covered in coral and sort of various sort of starfish and sea creatures, this large individual appears to have none of these accoutrements. Everything on him is this attempt at gaudy armor, all of which is patched together, sort of nailed metal and things like that. There don't appear to be any sort of markers of the sea on him, I guess, which is odd, considering the environment especially.
Okay, I shall just wait where I am.
Okay. So as Zini ascends into the rafters of this building, the rest of you, what are you doing?
I guess I'll sneak in.
Okay.
And yeah, get closer, but I think I'm also waiting for everyone else.
Is the door closed? How is the door at the moment? Sorry, is it partly open?
So one of the doors is entirely closed. The other is almost off its hinges, and you can, when looking through, you can just about make out the vast majority of the room, but you are hidden from sight.
Yes. So would it make sense for Terra to go in when we went in, rather than the door open
Yeah.
on its own? I'm just wondering if it's not open enough to like slip through. That'll be a bit awkward if like, like what's that?
Okay.
Would I have been looking? I would have liked to have been. I'm just thinking retroactively. I would have liked to have been looking, because this is one thing I was going to ask, is the fact that I wanted to use Know Your Enemy before we went in, and when I was sort of scouting, just sort of keep a good eye on what was going on. Obviously, after seeing the giant, I'd have paid particular attention to the giant.
Okay, I always forget what this entails. So, what's the information you need me to give you?
Okay, so basically, you either tell me something is equal to, superior, or inferior to, and there's a number of things. I get to pick two of those things after observing or interacting with anyone for about a minute.
Okay.
So I'd like to know if what state his armor class is in, compared to mine.
So,
but does that take into account my +2 from my shield, or just my native armor class?
So it would be your accumulative armor class, I would say.
Good.
It is not as good as yours.
What's yours?
20.
Okay.
Looking at the way in the things that he wears, it is a strange, mismatched, eclectic collection of different metals, all of which have sort of been put together in this strange mockery of a king's garb. It is you looking at him, you wager that most of his protection probably comes from the not unsubstantial girth that he has. He is a big boy. The armor is
chunky boy.
Second to that. He's a very chunky boy.
And the second thing I'd like to know is his current hit points superior, equal, or inferior to mine?
Much more.
Okay. Great, because my total hit points is 91. So
Nice.
It's fine.
Scarlet, you eviscerated 2 enemies with a blink of an eye. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Scarlet also didn't get hit.
And that is Scarlet's skill.
Yeah.
Cool. So, having assessed the situation and found out that information, what do you do?
Shall we go
sorry,
in?
Yeah, I think it's a good night. It's now or never, otherwise we'll be stood out here all night.
I'll follow after you.
Okay. I sort of brace and start to head toward the door and push it open.
As you push, the door that is just off its hinges just and down, creating this splash in the water that is around knee deep for the rest of you. For you, Dalifer, it is more around waist level. And as you descend into it, you realize that you are going to have to wade most of the way. But as the door falls down into this watery ground, and Terra, as you sneak forward, the creature that sits in front of its master just turns around and the large figure sitting on the throne just looks up. Who are you?
Oh, just a visitor, really. I like what you've done with the place. Can we talk?
You come before God and speak with such and the creature in front of him just disdain, with such disdain.
Do I still have comprehend languages?
You do, yes.
Is that consonant comprehension?
He's speaking common, though.
It just lasts for an hour.
Yeah, I meant the other thing. I'm assuming it said disdain, but I just
Yes.
for future. Also, can I position myself behind?
You can, if you can make a stealth check at advantage.
Is there just the one sea spawn then?
I will bring up the map for you, so you can all see where you are.
Also, point of interest, I realized that because the stealth check was an ability check, I should have made it a straight roll.
Oh, okay.
Fortunately, the first roll was the higher one, so...
Okay, that's all right.
22 for stealth.
Okay.
Right.
Ooh, he is a big boy.
He's a very big.
He's a very big boy.
He has a well on his head.
Where are the captives? Are they on the map? Hold on.
So they are just over there. So they are hanging from a crane off the ship itself and above the water below. And you can see that as the room inclines towards this ship, you can see that the floor itself seems to have literally broken away and just sinks down into the depths of the sea itself. It looks very dark and very deep under there. But as the three of you walk in, and Terra, as you sneak off round the side of the room, being careful to not make too much sound in the water, Scarlet, as you're looking around for where the prisoners are, you can see these 6 remaining individuals within the cage, looking with intense interest. All of them look battered and all of them look rather bloodied, but all of them are looking at these 3 strangers who have come into this large open hallway.
So is he sitting on like a wooden throne?
He is, yeah.
And there's a pile of gold in front of him?
Yes.
So I can't get behind him?
No.
So for now I will just stand sort of off to the side.
Okay.
Like next to the throne like his little assistant.
You bring gifts.
I might. I perhaps have some gold. But I was more curious in those captives you've got in the cage.
The creature shouts towards the God King, and the God King just leans back.
You have seen fit to murder my subjects.
Well, yes, because he attacked me first. I didn't know who he was, so I defended myself. And I start to walk into the room. Let's not do that. Can I? Oh, there we go. There we go.
So, you come before me for them.
And he points towards the cave above the water.
Actually, I was just more curious because of who they might be. I have no interest whether they live or die per se. I was just curious. But having said that, how did you come across them?
You are smaller than most. And I am used to people being smaller.
Well then, this is a very unique experience, don't you agree? And I keep moving forward.
Can I just ask about this cage of people?
Mm-hmm.
So it's suspended over the water. Is it reachable via land, essentially?
No.
It's completely like on an island.
It is hanging above the
Right,
water
but it's
itself.
the thing that's attached in it.
So you can see that the pulley system that is attached to this hanging cave is attached to the ship that is broken through the wall itself. It is very crudely made, very haphazardly put together, and is little more than scraps of wood and metal, but it hangs quite solidly. And Zini, from where you are, you can see that it is hanging around level to you. It is quite high up above the water.
Okay.
You are a dwarf.
Yes.
And tiefling. Wolf.
I prefer chef.
Chef. What do you cook, chef?
Everything and everything. I feel like your sea spawn may be doing you a disservice, however. These captives you have, are they... Well, were they captured for sustenance, perhaps?
Snacks. Poultry. Snacks.
Yes, I think poultry is the word. Tell me, God King, have you ever tried pork?
Which animal? Pork.
Usually pigs.
I love pigs.
Because I must tell you, God King, that there is nothing that these malcontents could do for you that a pig wouldn't do the job just as well. Even better, in fact, as they were bred for the purpose. And, well, she gestures her head towards the people in the kitchen. I mean, who knows what these people have been raised on, fed on. It's not suitable for someone of your stature.
They are little.
How about a trade?
And what do you give me? Pigs.
We can source some pigs for you. But you have to let them go first.
Scarlet and Dalifar, or one of you at advantage, make a persuasion check.
How's your persuasion, Scarlet?
I mean, not great. I think you better do it at advantage, unless you've got more than a +0.
My persuasion is poo-poo. To be
Is it more than
polite.
0?
Sorry?
Is it more than 0?
No.
Oh, mine's also 0. Who wants to roll?
Can I help them with persuasion things? I'm
They
near
are
them.
on their own.
God damn.
Well, okay. Well, either one of us can roll at advantage, or we both can roll individually.
Yeah.
So we might as well roll individually.
Okay, we'll see what happens. This is
Yeah.
where we hit a natural 1 and it all goes pear-shaped. Yeah, I mean, not terrible, but not great. I got an 11.
I got a 5, so you are better than
Yes, slightly more charismatic as usual.
You bargain with a god. God of the oceans and the seas. It is. Let's pray for you. Pray. But
And he leans forward in his chair with some effort, and you, Terra, hear the of the wood as it creaks underneath his heft.
you stay. And I feast on dwarf and tiefling, but you, chef, you stay in my court. My royal chef! Yes. Oh, that sounds amenable.
I step forward and just go, well now, what is a god without tribute? Surely a tribute of pigs is far better than scrawny malcontents.
I have earned enough from you and dwarf. I will let the wolf chef speak.
It is a very I've forgotten the word now. Your offer is very generous, but a chef is only as good as her tools and her food, and I'm afraid I care for my colleagues dearly, but you haven't been with them for the past few months. You haven't seen how they live. I'm afraid they would not be suitable for a king, or a god, as you say.
You may speak true, but they will be a morsel of me while you prepare me a great meal. I will give you anything you want. Kitchen, pots, pans, anything, my dear. All I ask is that you do as my subjects do. Worship me as your god.
I'm afraid, my king, I haven't had the greatest experience with gods. I mean, why be a god when, a king is far more impressive? Why not be, an emperor? Why live here down in the seas? You could bargain and barter with the, villagers up above, get them to send you pigs in tribute. Surely that would be far more exciting and a far better company than these sea spawn.
A crusade. You suggest a crusade.
I suggest making social links with the villagers above. The areas are a little dilapidated. There are plenty looking for something or someone to believe in. You have plenty of capital to help expand the farms. More pigs, more cattle.
Pigs. I love pigs. And people. And cows. And horses. Yes, you speak sense.
And he tries to stand, and you can see that he takes a little bit of effort as he stands up, and his gut spills over his knees as he stands, hoisting up his large rusty anchor next to him, and he brings it above his head.
Yes! Oh, you are far more than a chef. An advisor. I need an advisor and a high priest, yes. You have a way with words, wolf, chef, priest, woman.
And yet my charisma is +0.
I don't know what that means, but I like it.
As he's talking, can I, behind my back, sort of gesture for Oriana to step even closer?
Mm-hmm.
And just sort of indicate that she should follow.
I will come and stand near Dal.
So leaving you very much an island in this water, Scarlet.
Bye, Scarlet!
Oriana just sidles across.
Oh.
What is the anchor that he's holding? Is that a weapon?
It is a ship's anchor, and the chain of it is tied around his pudgy, fatty arm.
So, and the whole chain is around his arm?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I will keep you. That much is certain. But I have not had a tiefling before. I will eat your friends. I am decided. But you stay.
I take another step forward.
This is the part of the film where it's like a record scratch. I bet you're wondering how I ended up.
Talking to a god king in a half-sunken castle.
Yeah.
Dalifar, and sorry, yes?
Oh, I was going to say that I continue following Dalifar.
So, Dalifar and Oriana, as you make your way forward, wading through the murky water, the flagstones beneath you covered in green moss and algae, each step squelching beneath you. And as you come forward towards the center of the room, the sea spawn next to the God King just turns and points at you and Terra, you understand this to be God King. And watch out.
Okay.
The God King just turns. I am hungry. I am hungry.
Chef, we will talk more of this later. In the meantime, I would recommend that I eat your friends. Burn them, toast them, or...
I'll respectfully decline. They're fairly hardy as well. I doubt just one spell would kill them. But as well, I will also decline.
I turn to Scarlet while she's saying this and just go, no, really, burn them.
Are you close enough to hear that?
I say quite
it's
loudly.
Echoing around the space.
Could I notch a fire arrow, please?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The God King just steps down a little bit, and Terra, you notice his large girth just moving past you, and as he steps, Terra, the ground shakes, and for a moment you almost feel as though you were going to topple off balance. Every step is like an earthquake as he just... and he steps down towards the bottom of the steps in front of a pile of gold.
Can I get behind him?
You can.
I'm on the throne now.
I am the king now. So, Terra, you sneak round, and as you get closer to him, he smells bad. It smells like sweat and like seawater and blood, all intermingled inside flabs and folds, and you can see flies buzzing off the various pelts that hang down his back like a cape. He is foul, and he steps forward.
The dwarf is smaller. I will have you first. And Tiefling. And we will see what remains for my children.
As he says that, I step forward and just go, well, let me make it easier for you. Is here good enough? Or do you eat at a table?
I eat.
And he slams his belly, which vibrates and rumbles, and...
I eat on here. It is where your bones will rest. When I have picking them clean and using your beard hairs as floss.
Ah, I see. You've never had dwarf before, have you? And I step a little bit closer, all the time gesturing for Oriana to keep following.
I keep following. Do.
I have not. It's a perfect time to start.
And he begins to trundle towards you and away from you, Terra, as he moves away from the throne. What is everyone doing as this large giant begins to walk in the direction of Dalifar and Oriana?
I'm just sticking behind him.
The barrels and boxes, are they filled with tack room things? Can I see from this distance, or are they just
Lamp or whiskey?
Make a perception check for me.
I will
please.
certainly make a perception check. Okay, which is more than a +0, so well done me. It's a +1. I'm very wise. Oh, 16.
16. You look across and you can see that there are a number of different eclectic barrels and crates over in the corner of the room. You can see that there are various sigils and brands on them that show that they are from a variety of, you imagine, cargoes and ships. However, you do see that bunched all together, there is a small grouping of what look to be individual Tack Room whiskey bottles.
So on the map, are they in the top left?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And as the God King continues to come towards us, I say, well, before you eat me, I must ask one very curious question.
A god will deign to allow you the question.
Okay. Your subjects, as you call them, and I step right next to the other, the one that's in the middle there.
The sea spawn just gives a slightly worried little...
I step next to Dalifar.
As I'm moving, I indicate for Oriana, like behind the back, just to go around the others, in front of him or behind him or whatever. These subjects of yours, how many are in this castle? Because surely one is not enough to help you keep your court.
I lost count months ago.
And this one you keep, is he some kind of jester?
All sorts. Though I must admit, he has been less than entertaining recently. Perhaps, Chef, another role to add to your repertoire.
And I sort of turn to the sea spawn, because I know they understand common, and just say, if you don't want to be seafood, I would run out of this room and not look back.
So, Terra, you have previously observed that the sea spawn do not understand common.
Oh.
This one, however, gives a little... and is seeming to sound out the words in its head, and looks towards the God King, and then back at you, Dalifar. Can you make an intimidation check for me, please?
And let me just check what my intimidation is. 11.
It looks at you, and you see its eyes flicker in recognition, and then it looks up at its master, who now looms above the two of you, anchor in hand, and just... and just shakes its head as it backs off a little bit, making way for its king to step forward. Which he does so, moving forward, the gold in front of the throne trampled underfoot and spreading all across the floor as he steps forward, his large heft above you and Oriana as he looks down at you.
So, We have been playing long enough, I think.
And he brings his axe. Sorry, not his axe. His anchor up in the air.
I will enjoy this, I think.
Before he brings it down, as he's bringing it up, I take the head. I aim for the head of the his minion.
Okay, make an attack roll. And is there anything else anyone is probably wanting to do before?
I guess I'd like to go for it.
I was going to say, as I raise my axe and just shout, "Go, Imidani!"
You all hear this word that you were taught a mere few minutes ago. So you're attacking. Let's put some combat music on.
I will also cast Fire Shield on myself again. I imagine I would have been preparing that for when the word was said.
Okay.
Can I just ask, is he surprised?
He will be very surprised.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
So Dalifar, what did you roll?
27.
That hits. Of course that hits. Roll for damage.
I'm going to use this die now. 6 points of damage.
Okay. And Terra, if you would like to.
Sorry, it's a bit more complicated.
No, that's okay. That's fine.
So I get advantage. So it's automatically a critical hit.
Yes.
So I rolled 23.
That hits. Roll for damage.
I'd like to do. Sorry, I should have said this earlier. I'd like to do Thunderous Smite with this, and it's sneak attack as well. So, I double the dice.
Mm-hmm.
Does that include sneak attack and Thunderous Smite?
It's all dice. All dice.
Okay.
Rogues.
So many different kinds. Okay, so we've got 4.
4 is that?
So that's already doubled.
Right,
Yeah.
so
5, 6, 7 altogether, and then the sneak attack is 12, 8, and then the Thunderous Smite is 2d6 thunder damage. And it has to succeed on a strength saving throw.
Okay.
So 6, 12. Oh, doubled again. So double that. So
Okay.
24.
Okay.
Thunder damage. Did you get all that?
I got all of that. Yes. So, no. There we go. Okay, so you all watch as Dalifar swings his axe round into the sea spawn that gives a ah! And Scarlet, you bring up your wooden spoon, casting Fire Shield across you and causing the water around you to steam and bubble as it coats your body. And Terra, you rush forward, and as you bring your sword forward, there is a as thunderous energy flows through the building, and you see that the water ripples outwards from where the giant stands as she slowly drops her invisibility, revealing this walking statue. And the giant passes his strength saving throw as the blubber all around him literally just shudders and waves. Is there anything else anyone is wanting to do before we enter combat?
To be fair, I don't think I wanted him to succeed because it would push him onto both of you.
Okay, in that case, if everyone can roll for initiative, please.
Come on, dice. Today be good. Be good.
How much damage was it in total?
I was just like, that was...
Take it off each
Yeah.
time.
Initiative.
It's okay, I just wanted to know for
Okay.
selfish reasons.
The dice have let me down.
Okay, so 25 to 20.
50.
20, okay. 20 to 15. Okay.
What?
Okay, 15 to 10. Okay. Yep.
Oh no, I did. Sorry, not me.
So, Michael and Jess?
12.
14.
Okay. And then 10 to 5?
8.
7.
Okay. Okay, so initiative order is Terra. then it is Festus, then it is the Sea Spawn, then Scarlet, then Zini, then Oriana, and then Dalfar. So, top of the round, Terra.
Yeah.
As the remains of the rippling energy of your thunder wave echo out throughout this large cavernous room, what would you like to do?
Read it again. Is it advantage because he's flanked?
Yes.
Which is the entire reason I was just like, get as close to him before Tara hits him as possible.
27.
27 hits, roll for damage.
Ugh, off the table. 12.
12
That's rubbish.
damage.
Rubbish.
Let me just... there we go. Okay, is there anything else that you're wanting to do?
I'd like to look around and see if I can see any more sea spawn.
Okay, make an investigation check for me. Perception. Perception
I don't think
check.
it matters. I
Yeah.
didn't roll very well.
Oh, okay.
Perception. I got 13.
13. Looking around, all you can see is the one sea spawn at the moment, but you can see that it is looking around very panically. But that is the only one you see. Okay. So, as Terra, you rush forward and slash into the flubber that surrounds this creature, and you see it sort of give, but there is no blood underneath. So thick is this basically skin and sinew, and you can see that the pelts as well are hanging off. He's a chunky boy, but as you bring it forward between this and your last attack, you hear him give a massive and he brings up his anchor and he starts to swing it round in the air, and you can see the chains loosening and unloosening and unloosening until there is just a whirlwind of rusty metal around his head, and then with a triumphant growl, he just and brings it round in one massive circle. Can everyone who is within 30 feet of him make a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
That include the sea spawn.
It includes the sea spawn as well. Yeah.
Dex
Poor
saving.
rolled poorly.
12.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just checking.
Oh, what? I rolled a fucking natural 20! Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Dex is my worst stat! I'm sure, okay, I actually got, 24.
Okay. So
Also, anyone within 10 feet of me gets an additional +3 to their saving throws.
Oh, I got
FYI.
15 then. Woo! What did you roll, Tara?
I rolled a 17.
Oh, okay, you're fine.
so everyone who rolled above an 18.
But I mean, on top of that, it was like extra stuff.
So everyone who rolled under an 18 takes 25 points of bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone. Everyone else takes half of that, so 12 points of bludgeoning damage to those who succeeded, which I think was all of you.
Can I,
Sorry, you
That's
said
an
roll
attack,
over
isn't it?
18.
Anyone who rolled above an 18 takes half of 25, so
Okay.
yeah.
24.
Can I then halve
24.
that again with my uncanny dodge?
You can, yeah, so you take no damage. Uncanny dodge,
Don't I
if there's a situation where you would take half damage, you take no damage.
On here, it just says to halve the attack.
Oh, is it not?
damage
Oh,
against
okay,
you.
then,
So
yeah,
I
you
would just
take
it
6.
forward.
You're thinking of evasion, Ed.
Yes, of course I am, yes.
That's
all
nice.
these rogues.
I know.
So yeah,
How
you
many
take
roll?
6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Damn, that was his good attack as well. Just rolled really poorly. However, as the anchor swings around, you do hear as the sea spawn just flies off, flying through the air and smashing against one of the nearby pillars, completely out for the count.
Is it just paste?
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
So, as this happens, Scarlet and Zini, from where you are, you see this display as your friends all manage to just about dodge this giant rusty anchor. But Scarlet, as you look around, and Zini, from your vantage point, you notice from the depths of the waters, hands coming up out of the water.
So I was trying to...
1, 2, and then 3 in total, all coming out. Sea spawn moving. It takes half of their movement to come up out of the abyss, which means let's move these guys. So this one there. So one of them rushes over to where their God King is under attack, while the other two, Scarlet, you see them looking towards you, and with a they start moving through the water with uncanny speed. They're clearly used to this environment as they rush forward towards you. That is all they can do. Scarlet, as they're running towards you, it is your turn.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I might need to move to... I'm going to do Burning Hands again, which is a 15-foot cone. So I think I'd have to move... Would that hit them? 15-foot cone? Hit them both?
For a cone?
Yeah, just like that.
Probably back a little bit. Like
There.
How wide is the cone?
15 foot. So I would say if you go back one more space, you could probably hit both of them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Could they both make a dex saving throw for me?
They can, absolutely. That's a 5 and a 15.
They both failed.
Ah,
DC
nuts.
was 16.
Okay.
Cool, let me just roll those dice.
How many dice was it?
5 d6. Because I did it at a 3rd level. 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll. Pretty good, that 23.
Oh my gosh, okay. So that's...
I mean, admittedly, I don't have that many high-level spell slots left because we had the other fight, so
Yeah.
this damage output might not stay consistent.
So, Scarlet, as you back through the water all at knee level, as you just move back, you bring up your hand and there is a jettison of fire that just illuminates the entire space, and you see them flinch a little bit more at the light than anything else, as they just, before eventually just being engulfed in flames. And Zini, from above, you just see this cone of fire and smoke and flame engulf these two, and as it dissipates, you just see these very, very charred and very, very bad looking individuals just shivering in the water, barely able to feel their nerve endings as they look at Scarlet, terrified. Scarlet, is there anything else you want to do?
Probably just going to move. I forget exactly how much I moved. I'm just going to move like 10 feet back.
Okay.
You only moved, I think, 5 feet from where you originally were.
Oh, was I? Okay.
I think it was 5 feet you originally were.
I'm going to move like there, then, or there. There you go.
Okay. So, Zini, it is your go.
Okay. So I'm going to... I'm not sure if this is a good idea. I'm going to take the fire arrow and aim it at the chair.
Okay.
Because I think it'll really annoy the giant and maybe distract him. I don't know.
Okay.
So I don't have damage for the fire arrows. I don't know whether I didn't write that down or... so...
It'll be somewhere. I think it was like an additional D10 of damage. I'm not sure. I'll look it up. If we say an additional D10 for now, and yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna see whether I can shoot the throne.
Okay, make an attack roll.
That is 15.
15. Shooting through the air, this arrow of fire lands on what you can see now is a very large bear skin serving as a cushion on the base of this throne, and it lands with this squarely between the eyes and slowly just begins to alight. And you can see Terra, especially, that for however long this giant has been sitting on it, there has been enough accumulated stuff on there to make it very, very flammable, as it just goes up in flames and starts licking around the side of the throne itself. And as you watch from on high, Zini, you see the giant just turn and give a... Is there anything else that you would like to do on your turn?
So damage-wise, that was 1 point of piercing damage and 1 point of fire damage.
Oh, okay. I retract that. Is a
Yeah.
It's on fire. Yeah.
Yes, I would like to use my second attack and use another fire arrow on one of the sea spawn that Scarlet has already damaged, and then mutter to myself, I'm never going to hear the end of this. Oh, that's better. That is 27 to hit.
That hits. Roll for damage.
And then... Yep, that's better.
What are you going for?
I will go for the one that is further away from me. So, yeah, the one that's closest to Scarlet.
Okay.
So that is 8 points of piercing damage and 4 points of fire damage.
It just goes up in flames as it looks up in your direction after having seen the first arrow fly through the sky and just... It just falls down into the water, completely out for the count. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
I just give a respectful nod to Scarlet.
Okay, Oriana, it is your go as the throne is slowly being engulfed in flames. What would you like to do?
Okie dokie. I'll just make an attack. Presumably at advantage because he's flanked. I'll do it on Festus. Yeah, screw it. I'll do an attack and I'll also use Blinding Smite, which is a level 3 spell that gives me an extra 3d8 radiant damage.
Okay.
When you say radiant damage...
Like light.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I need to... oh man, that's not great. That is... Oh, actually, it's not bad. 19.
19, that hits. Roll for damage.
Okay. So it's 9 points of slashing damage, and then the radiant damage is 15.
Okay.
And then also he needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That's 15.
It matches.
Okay, so he's unaffected, unfortunately.
No, that's so annoying. Okay, so I'll do a second attack then.
Okay.
It's a natural 20! Oh, what a waste! Oh no! I can't use Divine Smite, can I? That's a bonus action, isn't it? That's so annoying! Oh god, okay. Well, yeah, so that is... You double the die, don't you?
Yes, yeah.
So it's 18.
18, okay. That's... Okay.
Hang on, Diani.
Yeah? Are you checking it?
I am checking it because I think you can use it.
Because it's a racial thing, isn't it? Rather than a...
Well, no,
racial.
it's a paladin thing, but
Paladin
it's
thing.
if you choose to expend the spell slot, you can just do it.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case-
however many times, whatever spell slot you want to use, it's not a bonus action. You can just do it whenever.
Excellent. Well, in that case, I'll use my Divine Smite at level 2.
Oh no!
And you're allowed to actually, because I checked this, because it seems like sort of unfair and an unfair advantage to be able to make that choice after you found out you have a natural 20, but you can do it with Divine Smite.
That's okay. I accept this, it's fine.
So let me just double check. Because
Ed will remember this.
I swear I've got to make these encounters a bit harder, because I keep going, this is pretty tough, and then...
Okay,
very
so
powerful.
it's an additional 3d8.
All of it doubled, remember.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, I didn't even roll that well, so it's just 14.
Okay. Okay, so anything else you want to do on your turn?
Nope, that's all I could do.
So as Oriana brings her weapons in for 2 devastatingly effective attacks, as black radiant light emanates out from each blow, and the giant in front of you just Dalafar, your turn.
Right. I can't use action surge because I used it on the sea spawn earlier. Damn. So I'm just gonna have to go with 2 attacks on this turn. And first attack, rolling at advantage, rolled 12 both times, so that's 21.
That's insane. But yes, of course. That hits.
11 points of damage.
11 points of damage, okay.
And I'm going to hit him again. 27.
20, yeah.
And 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. Oh, that's nice and easy. Okay, wonderful. Anything else you want to do on your turn as both your blows just slice through fat and flesh, and you can now start to see geysers of blood just shooting out and into the water and spreading all about you. And at this, you can see that the sea spawn all around you are... but is there anything else that you want to do?
I am going to move to here, just behind Ori.
He will get an attack of opportunity at that. Is that okay?
Go for it.
Okay. That is a 20, not natural.
Okay.
So he's going to attack you with his rusty anchor, and that will be... that will be 28 points of bludgeoning damage as it just crashes into the masonry all around you, and you feel yourself winded as you stagger back behind Ori. Your armor is dented quite significantly, and you can see flaked rust on it as he just brings the anchor back and just... Terra, it is your go.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is, can I move around to the front of him without doing an opportunity?
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
can.
moving out of range.
Yeah, you can strafe around
So-
him, that's fine.
Over to there.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd like to basically do the same thing as before. So I'd like to use Thunderous Smite.
Okay.
My goal being I want to push him into the fire.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's advantage, isn't it?
It is, it's an advantage. Ori, next to you as you swing round next to her, and your eyes lock for a moment as you both turn once more in the direction of this giant.
19.
19 hits, roll for damage.
So roll damage 7, 8, 9, 10.
I love these
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, and then Thunderous, so 22 damage, and then Thunderous Smite is 2d6s, and if you could make a strength saving throw.
Okay.
3.
That's 31 strength saving throws, so
just 3 thunder damage.
3 thunder damage, okay.
But I'm hoping that everyone gets the idea.
So as he just brings his feet down into the ground, and you can see that his body is literally rippling through the force of your blows, he just brings himself up to his full height and...
You have made a god bleed!
And he brings up his anchor, and he is going to attack you, Terra, I think. That's 33 to hit.
Count it.
So 33 to hit, so that would be...
I'll halve it with my thing, please.
So that's 26 points of bludgeoning damage, and with the other...
Can I halve that, or...?
Yeah, if you want to.
Are you about to do another one?
He's about to attack Oriana this time.
So it was 21?
It was 26.
Okay, so I'll take 13.
Okay, and then bringing his anchor down and smashing between the two of you, he brings it up and locks eyes with you, Oriana, and goes, I will eat tiefling, but it will be a corpse! And that will be 27 to hit.
Yeah, that hurts. Jeez.
So that'd be 29 points of bludgeoning damage. And then he is going to... He's going to move over here. And as he comes to a standstill, can Terra and Oriana and Dalifar, actually, can you all make dexterity saving throws for me, please, as the ground trembles beneath him?
Not good.
Dex saving, 17.
15.
That's
Oh wait, we add stuff because it's Oriana's there, right?
11.
So we add 3.
You do, yeah.
So,
I mean,
Dirty 20.
so Dalifar and Terra, you are fine as the ground rumbles beneath you, and you manage to stay still. But as his girth just flings past you, Oriana, it clips you a little bit, and you actually fall down into the water itself, sort of your head just above the waves. You are considered prone, so you'll need to use half your movement to stand. On the next turn, that's all he's going to do. So the sea spawn.
So I don't take any damage.
You don't take any damage, you're just prone. So that
so
would
he's
be
moved now, right?
2. Yeah. Whew. So that's all the sea spawn is going to do there. The one next to you, Dalifar, as you see across the other side of the room, a very burnt, charred-looking creature running in the direction of Scarlet. The other one is going to try and attack you, Dalifar. That would be a 20, not natural to hit.
That hits.
And that would be 4 points of slashing damage, and try and attack you again.
In response to the first hit, I will expend one of my superiority die and perform a maneuver called riposte or riposte, depending on where you are in the world. Mm-hmm. When a creature... oh no, he hit. Ignore everything I just said.
Okay. The next one is a 16, so that doesn't hit, but...
On that
now
one.
you can use it.
That one. Yes, as previously mentioned, when a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can use a reaction and expend one superiority die to make a melee attack against a creature.
Dalifar, do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Do it now.
I can attack you for free. So that is 26.
Yeah, that hits, yeah. Sure.
Are you okay, Ed?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
He's scared for his babies.
My little fishy baby.
I'm going to roll the superiority die, which is an 8 because it's a D8 that I have, and I'm going to add that to the roll for the 3, which is so that's 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage.
Not bad for a free attack.
I know, right?
That makes life very easy maths-wise for me. And he's going
Takes it
to...
up to 0.
No. He's going to try and attack again. No, that doesn't hit.
In response, he attacked me again, didn't he?
He did, yes.
And he missed.
Yes.
I'd like to use another riposte.
Okay, yeah.
Billy, just quickly,
Yeah.
in order to use riposte, does it use your reaction?
Yeah, so you can get one reaction.
You only get one reaction per round.
Okay, I've used my reaction. That's fine. I'll leave it there. I'll remember.
So, as its bite misses you and it manages to scrape past your arm and it smarts quite a bit, you look over its shoulder and you can see that other hands are starting to come out of the water. They don't get very far, only towards the water's edge, but they are slowly gathering, and all of you start to hear more as they're all crawling out. Scarlet, it is your go as one such creature, very burnt and badly charred, runs towards you.
Well, I'm going to do my favourite tactic, which is bravely running away.
Mr. Robin defends.
It is a cautious retreat.
Yes, I'll go there because of resistance. And then I'm going to cast Levitate on one of the boxes full of whiskey.
Okay.
But reading the spell, I don't think I can move it horizontally until my next turn.
Okay.
So now it's just chilling in the air.
Okay. So you will watch as very slowly one of the barrels just slowly starts to lift in the air. Tack Room whiskey proudly displayed on the side, and the sea spawn nearest to you, Scarlet, looks at you and kind of flinches as you raise your wooden spoon, expecting another fiery attack, and then just... Are you wanting to do anything else at all?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I imagine they'll try and attack me the next of their turns, but I think I would have to try and hide behind this rock.
Okay. Zini, in that case, it is your go.
Okay, so which one was the sea spawn that was closest to Scarlet?
That one.
That one, great. Okay, can I shoot that one with a normal arrow, please?
You absolutely can. Go for it.
That is a 24.
That hits.
And that is 8 damage.
8 damage, okay.
Is it still up?
Just by a thread. As it just gets through its, arrow just shoots through its neck, and you just see its webbed hands just...
Okay. Right. So, the giant.
Yes.
Does he look very like his picture, as in, does he have hair?
Yeah, greasy black hair that's sort of coming down from this crow's nest that serves as a crown on his head.
Can I please aim a fire arrow at his hair?
You can, absolutely. Roll to attack.
Okay, here we go.
Join us, Michael.
Okay, that's a 21.
Yeah, that hits. Roll for damage.
So that's another 4, so 8 piercing damage and 9 fire damage.
How would you like to dispatch?
Okay, so I would like the arrow to just hit the very tip of his hair on one point of his shoulder. But because it's so greasy, it immediately erupts into flames. He tries desperately to hit it out and hits the well on his head. And then, in his panic, he just runs point blank into the fiery throne and just burns.
Yep, so you will watch as this God King just bringing his anchor up and just looking down at all of you and, I am king of the oceans! And he just immediately starts slamming his anchor down on his head and rushing forward. There is an almighty crash as the throne itself explodes into fiery wooden splinters, falling across and into various bits of the water as it goes up in steam. The sea spawn all turn and look at this, and almost as one, shrink down, hunched over, and just... And Terra, being the only one to be able to understand this, you hear them shouting, "Flee! Flee!" And all of them just begin to rush towards the water's edge and diving into the depths of the seas, just running and running. Is anyone doing anything? Dalifar would get an opportunity attack.
I would like to attack him, please.
Okay, roll to attack.
Oh, also, Ed, just as an extra bit of flavour, as the body burns, can the anchor just drop down and then just come to rest at the bottom of the steps?
Sure thing, yeah. You see his pudgy arm just being dragged down a little bit as it slowly withers, and the smell of burning fat just fills the entire cavernous space. Billy, what did you roll?
12.
Yeah, that hits. Roll for damage.
I rolled poorly as well. That is 13 points of damage.
Its head is lopped off as it rushes towards the water's edges and falls down to the ground as the rest of these creatures rush towards the edge, diving in, fleeing, their webbed hands swimming as quickly as they can through the salty expanse of the sea below. Everything is quiet. the sound of the waves outside and the burning throne in front of you where the once great god king, Festus Saltwound, lies burning. And as you all stand there, Scarlet still holding a crate of whiskey aloft, you hear from the cage off in the corner above the water, "So you're going to get us down?" And that is where we will end this week's session. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for putting me through my paces. That was good fun.
Thought I was going to die. I was like, oh man, this is the end.
I always say this after every single encounter that we do, but I always go, oh yeah, I calculate it all and I do all of that stuff, and I'm like, okay, I need to make sure this is properly balanced. I think I need to start making fights more unbalanced.
No,
You don't have to.
Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening. We'll be back again next week, same time, same channel. In the meantime, like I say, you can check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. You can subscribe to us on Twitch. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, all that lovely stuff. We would love to have you as part of our office. In the meantime, things are still strange, so stay safe. Keep each other well. Keep each other happy and light, and we will be back soon. We love you so much. Goodbye. Have a good week.
Bye, everyone.